And by the way, you can also send your questions right now. I won't be able to answer them right away, but inshallah I will collect them, and in the next special edition they will have the priority to be answered, inshallah. Shaukat Hussein. Don't forget, by the way, it's very helpful to mention your name and where you're from. If it is a general question, there are some questions, even if you mention where you're from and what is your name, I'm not going to mention the name. I'll say this is anonymous. Okay? Like you'll see some questions right now. Otherwise, it helps us to connect. We know where you're from and how are you watching us right now, and whether these programs are beneficial for you or not. Shaukat Hussein, his question is, if Allah has forbidden us from doing sajda towards anyone than him, why did he tell Shaitan to do sajda to Adam, peace be upon him? A good question. And this good question will be asked frequently by the youngsters. Okay? Like when you say, وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ لَمْ يَكُنْ مِنَ السَّاجِدِينَ. There are many ayat, whether in Surah Al-Baqarah, in Surah Taha, in Surah Al-A'raf, there are many verses talk about the incident when Allah the Almighty created Adam, and then He ordered the angels to greet Adam. To what? To greet, not to worship. Yep, that's correct. So the command came from whom? From Allah. So if Allah the Almighty ordered you to bow down to your teacher, then you will bow down to your teacher. Not because you worship your teacher, but because Allah said so. But Allah the Almighty has forbidden us against bowing down to anyone other than the Almighty Allah. And when Mu'adh ibn Jabal, may Allah be pleased with him, after governing Yemen for a while, and they were people of the book, as you know there, so when he returned, he saw that how some of the people of the book, they greet their leaders by prostrating themselves to them. He said, indeed, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is more worthy of such greeting and respect. So when he came to do so, the Nabi ﷺ forbade him. He said, Ya Mu'adh, no one is permitted to bow down to other than the Almighty Allah, because Allah forbade us. So if Allah permitted anyone to bow down to anyone, He would have commanded a woman to bow down to her husband as a means of appreciating his role and his support. But even that didn't happen. This is in the hadith, I didn't make it up though. So we are not permitted, and it is not allowed to bow down to anyone, not even to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. But when Allah said to the angels, bow down to Adam as a means of greeting and respect, after He has created him and fashioned him by His own hands out of mud, which is way inferior to the origin of the angels, which is nur, the origin of Satan, which is fire. And it was a test. So the angels bowed down immediately. And that's why the direct answer to your question, how come Allah asked the angels to bow down to Adam and it's not permissible to bow down to other than Allah Almighty? Satan was a believer. Was, that's a past tense, was a believer. And he used to hang around with the angels because he was very pious. So when he did not bow down to Adam, when Allah commanded the angels, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saw Iblis. His name was not Iblis. His name was not Satan though. He was one of the jinn. He said, مَا مَنَعَكَ أَلَّا تَسْجُدَ إِذْ أَمَرْتُكَ. Why didn't you bow down when I commanded you all? This is when he said, أَنَا خَيْرٌ مِّنْهُ. I'm better than him. He created me from fire and He created him from mud. And he began by himself. You created me. So the previous statement, Allah the Almighty said, مَا مَنَعَكَ. What prevented you from bowing down to Adam? إِذْ أَمَرْتُكَ. Since I have commanded you. So who commanded them to bow down? Allah. Then they, when they complied, they were worshipping whom? Allah. And they were greeting whom? Adam. So the angels bowing down to Adam was not as means of worship to Adam, greeting to Adam, but bowing down actually to Allah as means of worship. Got it?